This is the Saluda Grade, opened in 1878 and operating until 2001. This is the steepest mainline train grade in the whole United States, with an average percent of 4.9%. This is the story of the Saluda Grade and how we can save it. As y'all know, the Saluda Grade is a great historical achievement that the railroads made, especially when it was built in 1878. And now, over 100 years later, we have people who are trying to destroy what they made. You see, simply building a trail over the existing right-of-way is destroying the history because you're taking up the tracks. And all rail trails don't really give much credit to the railroad. They just say, this is the trail. And I think that there are plenty of other good uses that this line could be. Now, in my past two videos, as you guys know, if you haven't watched those, I recommend you go watch those first. But I said we should turn this into rails with trails and have like a tourist road. But the tourist road thing isn't really possible because of how much money it would take to do that and all the safety things. But there is an alternative that we can do. There are many places in the United States that do rail bikes. Basically, what it is, they're small vehicles that ride on the rails, and they don't require much maintenance, and they don't have to meet the same specifications as you would like for a regular tourist operation. And it doesn't take that much money to do that. And a lot of people think the Saluda Grade is in super bad shape. And well, in some sections, that's true. I actually visited there, and there's just a lot of brush. There are lots of washouts on the other side of Saluda, but the side, like, I think south of Saluda is in like perfect condition. No, it's north of Saluda. It's in perfect condition. And I think we could prevent this trail from happening. And, even in the double track sections, we can take up one track and leave another one there for the rail bikes and have one turned into a trail. It's rails with trails. I'm on board with that. We can meet in the middle. Simply taking up both tracks and taking up all the signals, crossings, um, everything, including the runway track, would just be destroying history. Despite what they claim that they're preserving history, you're not preserving history if you're taking up the tracks and putting a trail there. They're not in it for the history. They're in it so they can, say, we've got these trails and attract tourism. And for small towns along here, this is going to be a very big problem. I've talked to some people who live here, and they've expressed lots of concerns with trespassers because a lot of their houses back right up to the train tracks. And, with how people are nowadays, you never know. There's definitely going to be trespassers, and, people are going to litter everywhere, and it could get into the streams and creeks in the mountains through here because Saluda's got some of the best air quality in the country, and it's got the best air quality in the state of North Carolina. And these small towns are not ready for a big tourism boost, or boom, I should say. But with the rail bikes, it would be better than trail because no one's going to hike that steep of a grade. And with it being 31.5 miles is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. And I think that, with the rail bikes, you would be able to see all the scenery, but still be riding on the main line where those long trains fought the grade as they went up and over Saluda. And I think that it wouldn't attract as many tourists, but it would be better for the towns, and it would be a more enjoyable experience than just building a trail. You can build a trail anywhere. You don't have to have a railroad right of way to do this. That's a big thing that people don't understand. Is they're just like, hey, this line's abandoned. Let's just turn it into a trail. Once you do that, you destroy the history. And I know the railroads can, take back the right of way and build train tracks again, but they don't do that. And, with the few rail bikes that we have around here, they've all been a great success, and they make pretty good money, and it's far more enjoyable than, just walking on a trail. And, it's not going to take as much money to do this either. This is the least costly option. And it's the best option, because in case you guys didn't know this, the state of North and South Carolina are pitching in a lot of money for this project. So that means all taxpayers are actually paying for this project. So that means your money that you're making is going to this failure of a trail. This trail's not going to be successful just because of, where it's located. I mean, other trails that are flat rail trails, they've got pretty good success. But this is not like any other rail trail in the country. And, I feel like it's a waste of money too, because not many people are going to be hiking it. We've got Blue Ridge Parkway in the area. We've got the Appalachian Trail. Those are both very, very big trails. And those are located, the Blue Ridge Parkway is not far from Saluda, so it doesn't make sense why you would build a rail trail right next to an already existing long trail that's already got all the infrastructure. So, I mean, that's just my thoughts on that. Also, I know that nobody's going to ride a rail bike for like 31.5 miles. So, what if we just like split it up into different like sections? You could like pay to ride this end of the line, and or you could choose the other end of the line. And I feel like in the double track spots, we could have like trails that you can, or like that run alongside there, and we could also have like obviously public restrooms and small stations that you can stop at. And you could also keep like a siding at each of those stations, like a small one, so people can pass around you, so that no one else has to stop. It could be like, well, it could be something like that, but like I feel like something like that would, you know, be really cool, because we don't have anything like that around here, except for like in Andrews, North Carolina. There is rail bike service there, and it's been very successful. And I feel like this is a great opportunity that we are going to miss out on if we turn this into another stupid trail. Now I'm going to show you guys some photos that I made. What this might look like if they turned it into a trail. So this is before. Um, and this is after, and this is just what it's going to look like. And I'm not going to make these photos look like how they're advertising this trail to look. This is just how it's going to look. I mean, there's no way you can maintain 31.5 miles this good. So yeah, there's probably going to be some weeds overgrown like this. I mean, this is just crazy to me that they're going to pave this, and it's just going to be so expensive to do. Um, and nobody's going to hike this trail because it's going to be so steep. Um, and, if they do this, hopefully they'll put like a boxcar or caboose on one of the tracks. I've heard that they might keep one of the tracks in the downtown area of Saluda, but, that's just a maybe. Knowing Rails to Trails groups, they probably won't. And it probably won't even be named Saluda Grade Rail Trail. It'll probably be named like Saluda Scenic Trail. Probably something like that. Um, But after these photos are done, I'm going to show you guys photos of what I hope we can get this to look like with rails with trails. Because I think that's the best option here in terms of, using this abandoned line. And here is what I hope that this line will look like eventually. This is downtown Saluda right here. And, these rail bikes aren't big and they don't have to be pedal bikes. They make electric ones and they make gas ones and people even make their own. And, the trail doesn't have to parallel the track for the entire 31.5 miles, but I feel like there should be like stops along the way so people can like walk the trail if they want to. I just want to thank you guys all so much for watching. Each and every one of y'all who watches my videos supports this, and if you want to continue to support it more, if you have a YouTube channel, you can upload um, videos of this exact plan. I let you guys, you can use the photos that I made and stuff. I just ask that y'all give me credit or some form of credit, whether you put it in the description or say it in your video, um, because the y'all who do that really help out this project, with saving the Saluda Grade from becoming a rail trail. Um, so I just want to thank everybody who has supported me through this, and I hope we get to save this grade because it's very important. Um, but with that, I'd like to close out this video and thank you guys so much for watching.